Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 8. We've made it! We've made it to the final week of our course. It goes by so fast, and we're bringing together a lot of what we've discussed throughout the term while expanding into two important areas: mobile operating systems and desktop security. Now, when we started this course, we spent a lot of time learning about operating systems, what they do, how they interact with hardware, and how we determine which operating system is appropriate for the different users of our organizations. And from there, we moved into troubleshooting, identifying problems, developing solutions, communicating with others, and making sure that those solutions actually work. Now, this week, we're going to take that knowledge and expand it beyond the traditional desktop environment. First, we're going to look at mobile operating systems. Think about how much we rely on mobile technology today. I got a funny story for you. I took the kids back to school, right? Because we're looking around that time. I walk in there and I look at the teacher and I'm like, yeah, this is my email address, blah, 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 and we can communicate with that. The teacher looks at me and says, yeah, we don't really do email anymore. And I'm like, what? Hold on, I need to know about my kids. What are you talking about? She says, no, we do this app called Remind, called Dojo, called, I think there's probably three or four different other apps, but now everything's going down in the apps. Phones and tablets just aren't personal devices anymore. The organizations use them for communications, point of sale, digital forms, accessing company resources, variety of business functions. I can't even see the school route without having to download a bus app. They don't even care about my memory on my phone for this stuff. But anyway, a bus app, y'all. I got a bus app on my phone that I got to utilize just to figure out what bus the kid's supposed to take. And so, just like a desktop computer, these devices have operating systems that IT professionals must eventually be responsible for supporting and troubleshooting. We're also going to spend some time talking about security. One thing I want you to remember is that as an IT professional, simply getting something to work again isn't enough. You may find a workaround that solves the user's immediate problem. We do that a lot, right? But if the workaround creates a security vulnerability, then we haven't provided the great solution. Part of troubleshooting is understanding the impact of the changes that we made while making sure that we are solving the problem and not creating an additional problem, right? So, this week, I want you to think about security as part of your troubleshooting process, not something that gets considered afterwards, the afterthought. I've seen a lot of organizations struggle. In my experience, we've had situations where we were brought a tool and management went crazy and said, this is a great tool, this is a great tool. And they pumped millions of dollars in it to discover what? It's got a security hole. Now we got to redo the whole organization because we didn't pay attention to security beforehand. Now, since this is our final week, I want you to think back to where we started 8 weeks ago, right? Hopefully, you can now look at operating systems a little bit differently, and it's not simply Windows versus Mac or choosing between different versions of an operating system. There are users and hardware and organizational needs, security needs, troubleshooting process, customer service considerations that we must consider before those decisions. Now, those are all the things that you may encounter as you continue your education and continue to move into different roles within IT. Make sure that all your week 8 materials are completed, your final assignments, and as always, if you have questions, if you need assistance before the course ends, please feel free to reach out to me. Listen, everyone, it has been a pleasure working with you over these 8 weeks, and I hope that you take some of what you learned here and you apply it as we continue to move forward in your IT career. I wish everybody the best. Have a great final week. I will certainly be involved in the discussion post, wishing you all well and a very successful continued career, both within your educational and within your employment. We'll catch up. Have a great week, everyone.